All right. Hey there. How are you?
Hello, happy 4th of July weekend, although it won't be
That's
for you.
exactly that's what it is right now. Today we are talking. I know we already did tarot, but we didn't really do tarot. So we're gonna do a little tarot today just for fun because we're fun like that. And
So
Claire,
fun.
yeah, we're so fun. And Claire's gonna give like tarot factoids. So let her rip.
Okay, so I actually don't know a whole lot about the traditional tarot. That's never, I'm not sure why, it's just never called to me. I love the oracle decks for me, tarot and oracle decks are a lot about the art, which I learned something interesting about the art on the original tarot deck. So, tarot actually started off as a game in I found all different dates. People said 14th, 15th century, but largely around Italy and in other various parts of Europe. They started with, it was like a normal deck of cards. There were four suits. So the traditional suits are swords, cups, batons or wands. And what's the fourth one?
Pentacles.
Pentacles. What's a pentacle?
Really? Yeah. I mean, what did you call wands?
Batons was the original.
Oh, batons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then later they added the what we call now the 21 major arcana, but
22.
22, thank
20,
you.
yeah.
And they called them the trump cards. And so this game was a game of being able to trump using these specific cards that were better or of more value than the other suits. And what I learned is that as this game got progressively more popular in Italy, the wealthy Italian families, the aristocracy, would hire an artist to turn their family portraits into these cards, these decks of cards. And the major arcana are ranked in kind of this hierarchical. It starts with the fool, right? The fool's at the bottom, which is hilarious because that in and of itself.
Well, and you think of the fool, and the fool's a zero. So that's why some people think there's 21. It's because there's a zero.
He's like
So
the Joker, right? That's the
he's
Joker.
like the Joker. He's like the jester, like the court jester. So if you're thinking of it in those times, right? Who would kind of be the lowliest? It'd be the jester.
Right. And then all the way up to my sources said either the Emperor card or the Pope. So this really was like a reflection of the power plays that were at work in the structure of society at the time. And then it didn't really turn into a divination game until, again, I found a bunch of different dates, but like 16th, 17th, 18th centuries. But particularly took off during the Victorian time period, which was this big blossoming of interest in like the macabre. This was when autopsies were happening for the first time. Like literally people were going out and digging up bodies out of graves. And so there'd be these like kind of macabre parties where people could go see a dead body for the first time, or like ghost stories had this big popularity uptick. And so seances or tarot readings really gained popularity during that whole kind of time of dark interests. There was one other thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I find it interesting because I recently developed this tarot class because someone asked me to. And so I've learned a lot, not kind of the facts like you're talking, but when I was doing readings, I like to do readings. I like to say, think of the time in which these cards were developed in the energy of that time. So, and infusing kind of cards with your own energy, kind of that overrides that energy. I mean, with your intention, right? Because if you really are bringing the energy that existed around the tarot, that's not what we're going for anymore. We're
Right.
not for this like we've got the king and you are the lowly peasant. It's like no. So infusing your practice sort of, I smudge my cards. I've got these like bells that I send vibration over, because if you think the origin point holds energetic information around the idea of tarot, when you're talking about the macabre and all that, it's like, okay.
Yes. And there's this one last piece I found super interesting. So in 1781, there was this French Freemason, interesting, named Antoine Court de Gebelin. And he published a complex analysis of the tarot in which he revealed that the symbolism was in fact derived from esoteric secrets of Egyptian priests. So that was kind of when people were made aware that a lot of this art held secret symbolism that holds power. And so that's why the original, yeah, I love the Oracle decks. I love all the new stuff because it's gorgeous. But the original art on these original tarot, they hold a lot of symbols that carry power. And this guy was actually persecuted by the Catholic Church because, I know this will shock you, but they didn't want people knowing this esoteric information. So esoteric just means hidden, like only for the select people who are allowed to know it, right? So tarot also comes from this legacy of then bringing this knowledge to the average people, which I thought was cool.
Okay, that was very thorough. Thank you. I mean, I won't forget. Wait, what was that guy's name again? Read that guy's name again. Because when you read his name, I was like, what?
Antoine Court de Gebelin, Gebelin.
I want to know what that means.
Do your numerology on that name.
Yeah, well, or, I always love the origin of words. Okay, so let's just start pulling a card, and then we'll talk about, the suits. And it's really easy to remember, just like a deck of cards has four. The four elements in tarot are related to our four elements, right? The earth four elements, related to fire, to wind, to water, and to earth.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, yeah, they are. So
that makes sense.
Right. So those are the four, suits of the tarot. And then, like you said, you have the major arcana.
Well, Julie, can we just kind of do it? Because I know you do this with clients and people that you work with. Like, if someone came to you and was like, can I have a tarot reading? I know that's been an issue too. It's like, oh, is this just a fun parlor trick, or is this actual part of your work that you're doing? So like, what would you walk through with them?
So it would not be something I would do like right out the gate with the client, just because I want to create a more intimate connection. And I think this could be seen as not an intimate connection, at least when I'm wanting to get to know someone and them to get to kind of know how I receive information. It's not that you can't receive information this way, but it just feels a little more intimate. So it's never like the first thing I'm doing. It would usually be if I've worked with someone for a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, how many channelings can you do for a client? It's like, seriously, I mean, do we really need to just channel every single time? So then I bring in things like the I Ching or tarot or whatever feels pertinent, right? Or if someone's just stuck on an issue, sometimes coming through the cards, they can kind of see it a little bit differently rather than the words. So I don't know. And some people just love tarot. When I'm doing a plant medicine journey, I like to do a tarot reading for each participant beforehand. And it is so cool to see how then the cards are so much a part of their journey. It's like the cards know where they're going to go, and that's pretty cool. And I did have someone who, she ended up having to see a lot of like traumatic stuff in one of the journeys, and I mean the cards were spot on. It was like 10 of swords, and I was like, oh how you're like, sorry about that, that could be a little rough. But so I like to do it for those kind of things as well.
Helps you as the practitioner too, I'm sure, to just kind of like have a little baseline.
Yeah, totally. And I like to do it for, for myself when it's about either say there's a new guy in my life, right? I don't trust myself to channel on that. I really don't, because guess what? I already have thoughts. I already have injuries around, whatever, getting wounded in relationships. So that filter, I feel like, makes it difficult for me to be a very good channel for myself. Like, I'll know stuff about other people, and it's crazy what I can miss about myself.
Of
Like,
course, as we all do.
it's so ridiculous. But I'll use the cards for myself because, and I mean, I pulled the cards for something personal last week, and it wasn't about my love life. But I was like, I rebuke these cards. I stood up and I was like, I rebuke these cards. No. And I'm like, so
Just a mirror, just a mirror.
I know, but I was like, I don't want to know this. I don't want to know this because I have found them to be ridiculously accurate. So when it's something I don't like, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is, yeah. So that's kind of how it goes. And I go with my gut. I don't follow a book. A lot of times there's like a cross, what is it? The Celtic cross reading, or I don't know. There's people guide you in certain ways. I just kind of go with my instinct that day. Past, present, and future. I don't even love that one that much because it's like, well, we're not supposed to be living in the past anyway. And we're not supposed to be letting cards determine my idea of what my future is going to be, because then will those thoughts shape my future? So I'm not even a big fan of the past, present, and future. So I don't know. Those are just some of my little piccadillies. Is that what it's called? Piccadillies.
Sure, yes.
Yeah. So what should we do? Should we do a reading? Should we do a card? What do we want to do?
Yeah, I would love, would you be willing to pull cards for me today?
Sure. Oh, that'd
Okay.
be fun. Okay.
Do you want me to like ask a specific question, or do we want to leave it open-ended?
That's up to you because this is your reading, Claire.
Okay. But do you ask people if they have a specific question?
Generally, no, I generally don't do that, which maybe I should do that because generally they're asking me to ask the guide something. And so then it's just a live thing. It's kind of when I feel like someone's a little bit stuck, I'll be like, let's pull some cards on this. You know what I mean? Because
That's what I was just thinking for me. Like, where do I feel stuck? That's kind of where my mind went to. So
okay. Yeah. All right. Where do you feel stuck?
I feel a little stuck with my business. I feel like I'm planting a whole lot of seeds, and maybe it's about how I'm measuring success, but I feel like there's not a whole lot coming to fruition financially for me. And just wondering if I'm still supposed to be kind of waiting for this organic thing to develop, or if I should be out there like beating down doors.
Okay. Well, we know the answer to that already.
I have this where it's like, I'm not doing enough. If I were doing enough, I'd be racking in the money,
Well, as your partner in business, but mostly in life and all of it, I am reflecting back, you do quite a bit. So
okay, thank you. So it's probably closer to like my relationship with wealth and my ability to hold financial abundance or something along those lines. So
okay, so let's see what the cards have to say. So let's ask, do you want we don't want to go in the past. Let's have a number one pull. We'll start with Claire's relationship with money. How about that? And then Claire's flow related to her work.
Yeah, I don't even want to ask like what blockages, because that's assuming there are blockages. Yeah,
right.
So
card about your trajectory kind of in work, what we call work, and then a card representing your relationship with, the flow of money and the currency of money.
Currency. Yes, that'd be
How
beautiful.
about that?
Thank you.
All right, so we would call in Claire's guides. So let's call in Claire's team, her guides, her higher selves. May all information that we receive be for the highest good, Claire's fullest embodiment and flourishing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's do this. We have 2 cards. First one is career work, what we call, and we're going to use reversals. So reversals we can talk about later, but I decide beforehand based on intuition if we want to do reversals or not. So we just did that work, and now money, 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 money. Okay, I laid them down. I wanted the process of picking is different for everybody. I always shuffle 3 times. I do this thing that everybody does. I'm not super fast like a pro, like I'm in Vegas or something. So I'm not like, some people are really fast. And then like if a card flies out, that's your card. Some people like spread them all out on the table. I just wait to whatever feels hot to me. It feels, that's the card. Like whatever feels hot. So here we go. All right. First one. Ah, yes. Daughter. Okay, you got the Daughter of Cups, which is so wonderful. All right, so cups is about feeling. It's about flow. It's a water. So it's water. So that's the energy of water. And I think you have a lot of water in your personality to begin with. Cups is about matters of the heart. So I'm thinking about your follow your heart. Like this is literally like follow the energy of your emotion, using the energy of your emotion to create that flow, to create that in your work life. I mean, this card isn't, if you had gotten a swords or a wands, that's more, and even a pentacles, that indicates some sort of doing, right? Swords is like getting through life's challenges. Wands is a little bit of initiation or alchemy. And then pentacles is finances, earthly matters. So if you had gotten any of those, I'd be like, there is some stuff to do with a cups card. There's no real doing. Do you know what I'm saying? It's more of receiving. And a Daughter of Cups is like the page. So it's the Page of Cups. Okay. So you're up there, right? You're on the court, but you're young. You're still young. You're not the Mother of Cups. You're not the Queen of Cups. And you think about your cup, right? To receive, but you think of your vessel of creation and what you're creating. So, this is a beautiful card. And you look at what it's riding on like all the colors. So you think about, your chakras being just all balanced, and then just kind of, we talk about that walking on water, that floating on the water. And that when you're in that, sort of balanced, energetic system, you literally float across obstacles.
Is that a little duckling or a little gooseling?
It's little gooseling. And this card, like some of the things associated with this card would be fun. It's about having fun. This card it's a good card for love and all that, but it's really a card about having fun, embracing your inner child, using your imagination. So, this is like,
so just keep flowing, keep doing what we're doing.
Like you're going great, which again, as your friend and partner, but see, I love that. I love when the cards are just like, yay.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. This card also is like believe the impossible. This is a card of like believe the impossible. So it's funny because I just put together like this, I don't know, 10,000 word document to explain all the cards in my language. And this would be like dream the impossible dream. Like, so
Love
yeah.
it. We're
Okay.
dreaming. Woo, we're dreaming.
Dream the impossible dream. Okay, so now we got money and kind of your relationship with money. Ah, very interesting. Okay, okay. You got the Ace of Pentacles, but you got it reversed. And
Right.
remember how I said we're gonna do reversals?
Yeah.
So, okay, Pentacles literally, I'm like trying to pull up exactly what I typed on this. Okay, so Ace of Pentacles, first of all, Pentacles is money. It's earthly stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Ooh.
Okay. And the ace is always about new something. Okay. It's a new career or a new financial situation, new relationship. But when it comes to pentacles, I generally think in terms of career. So I feel like this card is saying to you, you're in a new career. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything's new and you're at the very beginning. I mean, the ace is literally you're at the very beginning. You're at the
Feel
beginning
that.
manifestation. You're at the beginning of abundance. Like you're at the very, very beginning. Reverse indicates that there could be unexpected delays, which which you're like, I thought I'd be making more money. It's also saying it could be a time like reassess what you're trying to do. But there's delays. There's delays in sort of seeing the manifestation of everything. It also reversed could mean money's gonna go out. There's a chance like there'd be a lot of money going out. And so if you think about, I don't know,
investment or something.
starting new things, right? You're putting money out.
Or just energy, right? Like
Right.
I'm just putting a lot of this out right now.
Yeah, and in reverse, it's also about a little bit feeling of loss of security, a little bit loss of stability, and all of that. So, I mean, again, this card is totally perfect, right? Because it's new. Everything you're doing is new, and you're feeling probably exactly what you expressed. Like, I'm feeling a little bit stuck. I don't really know if I'm on the right track, blah, 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 blah.
And I feel like I'm 37. Many of my friends have well-established careers and are making bank by now, you know, more
Right.
money than we ever thought we'd make in college when we were friends. But I don't know. I am kind of looking around. If I had remained a teacher, I mean, I would still feel this way. It'd be like, oh shit, everyone's making money except me. But I'm
Right.
doing something meaningful. It's funny that I find myself still in that position, just making way less money.
Right. Right. Well, you know, I mean, I have never pursued a traditional career, and there are a lot of risks that come with that, but many great rewards, and being open to the possibility of these energetic and also financial things happen in life out of nowhere where you're like, oh my God, I could have never expected that. And it's so funny. One of my sisters has pursued a very traditional career path, and she's very good at what she does, and she's very successful. And I will never forget, she looked at me once and she did call me a bitch, but you know, it was in a playful way. Because was in a financially, you know, very solvent place and had, you know, abundance of certain blessings financially related. And she was just like, bitch, how did you, I followed all the rules. I've done it the right way. So take the road. I mean, you are taking the road less traveled, obviously. It does make all the difference for someone like you, right? Who you were feeling the walls of the system. And like it was hindering or inhibiting like the fullest expression of who you were. So if you're not walking around the fullest expression of who you are, you might get a bunch of money, but you're not going to have a bunch of vitality or, that vim and vigor.
And yes, thank you for saying that and for that beautiful reading. And Julie has also taught me, we talked about this in the Oracle deck episode, of just like sitting with the art on your card, even if you don't read, the description or whatever. And that art, I see a bullseye. It's like, it's right here.
Uh-huh.
You're aiming for it. I don't see an arrow smoking that bullseye yet, but I think that's beautiful. And that's like the color, my eye is drawn there. And interestingly, there's a move in yoga where we're in Warrior 2,
Okay.
where you visualize yourself as an archer and you look over this thumb and you do this powerful breath of fire and you're just like visualizing what you want, where it's going, and you're just sending your breath and all of your power. And I did that practice last night. So I think that's coming up also for me because I just
okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So spiritual warrior, sticking with the flow.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you, Julie.
of course, you're welcome. And like tarot, we could go on and break down the major arcanas and all that. I don't know if anyone's ever interested. Let us know. I mean, I love doing tarot. I love doing tarot readings. And I mean, I do. Doesn't it always surprise you?
It does, yeah.
It's like, how does that work like that? It's just.
I've got a fun question for you.
Okay.
So you can think of one specific deck, or maybe you can do all of them, whatever. But is there one or two cards that you just consistently get over and over and over again?
I get the Starborn a lot, that I really love. I get the Vision a lot. I've started to get the Crone. I get the Mentor. I get the Mentor. I get the Shaman. I get the Father a lot. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I get Starborn. Yeah, those are kind of the main one, like Shaman, Mentor, Starborn. And that is from the Kim Kranz archetype deck. I get the Mother of Cups in the traditional deck. I get the World. I get the World, which is a major arcana, but I don't think it's called the World in the traditional deck. It's called Wheel of Fortune in the traditional deck. Yeah, I'm thinking those are the biggies that I get. What about you? Other than, I know the one you always get.
In the archetypes deck, I get the maiden who's like prancing around the forest all the time, exploring her sexuality.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, I don't really use the traditional tarot, so I have very little experience with that. But in my dreams of Gaia, I get perception, which is one of her major arcanas, and it's all about which taking the veil off your eyes and what perception are you choosing today. So
yeah, it's fun. Get yourself a deck. Like, don't get a deck until it calls to you. That would be my first bit of advice. And then secondarily, like, you can get to know it, but start using your own instincts. Like, before you read somebody else's interpretation of what it is, just like when you look at the card, are you like, yay, oh, this card makes me feel good just by looking at it? Or does something in you go, ugh? It's like, kind of lean into some of that stuff, because I find that the information is all over the place. Right. And I like to kind of channel a little bit of information about the cards. And then I was saying to someone, if you're doing a tarot reading for someone, and especially if it's like in a setting where they're a client, I apply the, the rule of first do no harm. So like if someone asks a question and I pull like, I don't know, one that you're just like the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is tricky business. I never leave anyone with that. Do you know what I mean? Don't end on something that feels really heavy because that energy can impact people a lot.
Yeah, there's a certain responsibility that we carry with the information that we're given, especially if you're playing this role of guide or channel or whatever. I love
Oh,
that do no harm. That's a beautiful approach.
yeah.
And Julie, do you want to just share kind of like how you're applying this cool program you've created?
Well, I'm offering this online class, and I have some women interested in signing up. And I would love, if anyone's interested, you could do. These women are doing like a wine night, and so they're getting together to, informally learn and gather, but also kind of as a tool that they can use with each other. I mean, they all kind of live in the same state. So I'm offering it online, and I don't know. I know, Claire, you were like, maybe you're get some people interested. And I know I have my sister in California is interested in doing it. So it's funny how things happen because I didn't set out to create this. And someone who literally was calling me a tarot expert, I was like, okay, I'm not an expert at anything. I'm like, I'm a jack of all trades, master of nothing. And and I say that with a little tongue in cheek, but not really. I mean, I'm not a freaking expert at anything. But he had seen enough of what I did and asked me to basically develop a course to, paid me to teach him. And after spending a lot of time developing this, I was like, this is pretty good. And I really liked doing it. And that was something I've been kind of opposed to doing things online with people, feeling personally like there's a lot more healing power when you're in someone's presence. But I understand, of course, our energy impacts others this way. So my point is, in all of that, I was a little resistant, and I really love it. It's so much fun. And I think it's so much fun to watch other people have so much fun with their own cards, right? So
Yes, I love that balance you bring between like it's fun and playful, and we also respect the power of it, So I think you walk that line really well.
well, thank you. Thank you. So that's the latest and greatest. And if anyone's interested in forming a group or anything like that, I would be more than happy to join you.
Yeah, it's like it reminds me of a book club. Like if you want to get a group of people together who just want to learn tarot, and I think that's beautiful too. Then you can practice with each other, and then you're learning something. Learning something in a community or a group it amplifies the power of what you're doing. So
Yeah, and to get other people's interpretation of a card, right? I
yeah,
mean, because they're seeing it through a different lens too. So
that's a cool idea. Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. So, and it's one of these things too that if you're feeling like just kind of down or low energy, sometimes we have these practices. Claire, I know you've got your Kundalini, and I mean, we've got some practices that take some time, right, in the morning. And some days I want to be connected to spirit, and I want to kind of keep the sanctity of my morning time, alive and kicking. Sometimes I just want to do tarot because it's just not that it's easy. But it does feel. It
Good to
feels.
receive.
It's like a gift. You're right. It's like getting a little gift for the day. So, yay!
Beautiful. Well,
All
thanks
right,
for making this accessible for other people. That's also a gift.
that is a gift. It is a gift. So, well, it's always a gift to be with you.
Ah,
And that was pretty cheesy, but
I
that's
feel
who.
it. I feel it.
All
Love
right,
it.
all right, and you're doing great. The money is coming.
Thank you. I'm gonna stick next to you.
Yeah. All right, love you.
Love you. Bye, friends.